Is it Wednesday already? You know what that means. It's Worth It Wednesday. Good morning. Today, I have chosen Citrus Fresh. Is that even? Anyway, Citrus Fresh is lovely. It's very energizing. It has tangerine, grapefruit, some wonderful citrusy oils, but it also has spearmint in it, which adds a nice kind of like peppy spiciness to it. Love it. Good morning. It's February, finally, which is great because I've heard that February is the new January, which means if your January resolutions kind of tanked and fell apart, you can start over. And that kind of happened with me with a few of my own January resolutions. I only had one date night the entire month, which sucks. We're really good. Have one this weekend. Wine on the weekends also kind of fell apart as I was having some rough weeks. And so I'm getting back to that. Actually toying with the idea of just quitting altogether and what that could mean. So if there's any of my sober friends out there who want to share their experiences with me, by all means, because I'm sober curious right now. And yeah. So today I wanted to talk about health at every size. And, what is that? What is that movement? What is that? Where did that come from? And just sort of briefly give an introduction to what the philosophy is. I talk about it a lot in my book. I talk about it a lot. It was really life-changing for me. I sort of found this philosophy when I was still a Weight Watchers leader and was really just mired in anxiety. I was an emotional wreck. I felt like I was clinging to the weight loss bandwagon with my fingernails and was being dragged, and I was starving myself all day long because I knew the binges were coming at night, and I was just getting so wound up in all of the body shame and frustration and shame that was accompanying my weight gain or being weight restored after an immense weight loss. And, it was just, I was an emotional wreck. And I found health at every size, and it just felt like a giant exhalation. And so what is health at every size? It's not a bunch of fat people sitting around eating ice cream being like, yeah, I'm healthy. But it really does talk about health in a totally new lens that is not weight specific. We live in a society where weight looks a certain way. And oftentimes, certainly in my own personal experience, being at a lower weight meant emotionally being incredibly unhealthy. And I think that there are enough people out there who can attest to the fact that when you are so focused on weight as a measure of health, it can really mess with your mental and emotional health. And that is as important, if not more important, than the physical side of health. So Health at Every Size, it was a book. I think it was actually probably a movement before the book, but the book was written by Dr. Linda Bacon. I highly recommend it if you are if you're feeling dubious about kind of the science behind weight loss and weight regain from dieting and the inevitability and kind of what happens. I talk about it a little bit in my own book, but it's really talked about exhaustively in the Health at Every Size book by Linda Bacon, and she's really just sort of talking about the fact that every size may not actually be healthy, but you can achieve health and you can practice health promoting behaviors at every size. And, to really kind of leave this idea that health looks a certain way. And it was so freeing for me because I realized what I needed to do was to stop standing on the scale every morning, to actually throw that piece of crap out, and to really sort of focus on what behaviors were making me feel good and what was self-care as opposed to self-control, which I think is another video I'm going to do. I think I might do the month of February, might be on like the definitions of health. because I feel like we live in an incredibly healthist society, and we have such messed up ideas of what health truly is. But the book Health at Every Size is an amazing starter. There's so many books that I think were integral to my own philosophical shift. But if you want somewhere to start, I would suggest starting there. It's a great book. And, I can put a link to it in the comments. So, and I think, once you sort of embrace this idea that you could practice health promoting behaviors without having to lose a pound, is kind of scary for a lot of people, but at the same time also incredibly, it's incredibly freeing to so many of us who really felt like our bodies were betraying us by gaining weight when we were doing everything right. And it can be incredibly freeing. And also, I think for me personally, that was when I really discovered what true health meant, and in terms of how I was living my life authentically, and how I was living my life and as a role model for my children, etc. The term health itself is an incredibly misconstrued term. Anyway, so yeah, take care. Have a great week. And let me know, what are your health promoting behaviors that are working for you that really you would do regardless of what a scale might say. I'm just curious because, yeah. All right. Take care and have a great week. All right. Bye.